So you're at B1 level in English. Congratulations! You're no longer a beginner. You can hold conversations, understand quite a bit, and get by in many situations. But this is also where many people get stuck. Why? Because B1 is comfortable. You can watch shows with subtitles, travel without major issues, and express yourself in everyday scenarios. So it feels like it's good enough. But if you really want to speak fluently, work or study in English, or just feel fluent and confident when speaking the language, C1 is the real game changer. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 steps on how to do it. The first and most important step is to speak more, even if it's not perfect. Don't wait until you know more before you speak, because, of course, the best way to improve your speaking is, well, by speaking. Join conversation groups, get a language exchange partner, try to make friends in English, and also, you can speak to ChatGPT. Or maybe just speak to yourself in the mirror or when you're going for a walk. You might look a little bit crazy, but it's part of the process. You can also record yourself on video or audio speaking, and that way you will realize when you are making mistakes or not sounding natural and be able to correct them. The second step is to listen every day, when possible without subtitles. An important thing here, and with all of the steps I'm going to give you, is to try to listen and consume content that you actually enjoy. Podcasts about football, travel YouTube videos, crime series, even reality TV programs. It doesn't matter if they're not educational or specifically designed for English learners. The important thing is to immerse yourself in the language. But many people will complain that they just don't understand. In that case, you can start by watching with subtitles and then re-watch it without the subtitles. Another common tip is to watch programs that you've already watched in your mother tongue. If you've watched Friends in Spanish, then watch it in English. You're not going to miss out on that much. And here, focus on the chunks of language rather than single words. So it's important to remember phrases like "it rings a bell" or "off the top of my head" instead of just random verbs like to rant. To rant, by the way, is similar to complain. The third step is to read in order to think in English. Read articles, blog posts, the news, or you can even find graded readers to read books and stories, but at a lower difficulty level. Just search graded readers in English and you will have a wide variety of choices of books that you can read, but without being the exact difficulty that they were designed in. And when you're doing this, try not to worry about each individual word. Again, focus on the chunks, expressions, and words that are repeated over and over again. These are the ones that you really need to master. And in order to memorize these new words, take some notes and review your notes. As people always say, practice makes perfect. Oh, and another tip is to read out loud. That way you can practice your reading, but not only your reading, you can also improve your pronunciation. Number 4 is to write in order to organize your thoughts. Write a diary, social media captions, chat with friends on WhatsApp. It doesn't matter what kind of writing you do, you just need to practice writing because this will then force you to think in English again and you'll realize where your weaknesses are and what you should focus on in order to level up and improve. You can also use tools like Grammarly, DeepL, or just Gmail. And with that, when you are writing, it will suggest some corrections, and that way you will know when you are making mistakes. And mistakes are necessary, and we need to learn from our mistakes. So you should embrace your mistakes. Speaking about WhatsApp as well, if you're feeling a bit lazy and you can't be bothered writing a text message, you can always send a voice note. And this way you're improving your speaking and pronunciation at the same time. Number 5 is to surround yourself in English, to immerse yourself in the language. For me, this is arguably the most important thing, because if you are immersing yourself in English, you're going to pick up so many words and phrases, and it's like living in an English-speaking country without actually having to leave your house. Change your phone to English. Change your laptop to English. Any applications that you would normally use in your own language, switch it to English. Easy. And with social media and YouTube, try to follow people who speak in English. So maybe you like Hollywood, so you can follow some accounts that speak about American films. Perhaps you like the Premier League, so you can follow the Premier League and different footballers. That way, when you're scrolling up and down, you're going to be surrounded by English and immersed in the language. Another thing is just thinking in English. And I mean, when you go for a walk, try to think about what you're doing and what you want to do in English. When you're cooking or driving, try to think in English when you are remembering what you have to do or thinking about what you did yesterday. Try to make a conscious effort to switch your thoughts from your language into English. Number 6 is to learn in chunks, not isolated words. This is one I've mentioned a couple of times, that it's important to learn phrases rather than specific words one by one. In the past, people used to memorize lists of words. This, for me, is a waste of time, but more importantly, it's boring. And the way that you are going to improve your English, or any other language for that matter, is by enjoying the process. So by consuming content and then learning and memorizing some of these cool phrases and expressions, that's when you're really going to see a vast improvement. And these chunks give you ready-to-use phrases to really sound natural, confident, and native. If you struggle to memorize some of these chunks, a good little practice is to put them on some flashcards. So a great free resource is Quizlet or Anki app. With both of these applications, you can input and put your phrases on the application and then use spaced repetition to practice and test yourself and really memorize the phrases. Number 7 is to get feedback, ideally personalized feedback. Because practice is great and it is absolutely integral, essential and necessary to practice. But without any feedback and corrections on your mistakes and pronunciation, you might not be able to identify where you're going wrong, which is why feedback is so important. If you have some patient English-speaking friends or colleagues or family members, of course, this is ideal. And you can speak to them and they can give you some hints and tips and corrections to be able to sound more accurate and speak more fluently. If this doesn't apply to you, then You need to find a teacher or a language partner. If you would like classes with me, you can send me an email. It is lewis@englishwithlewis.com, and you can join my community or my private classes. It's up to you. The ball is in your court. Related to common mistakes, there are a number of errors that I hear over and over again, sometimes made by the same students. So it's vital to write down what mistakes you are making, so then you will remember in the moment that you're about to make that mistake, so you can correct it before it's too late. A common example is, he said me. No! The correct phrase is, he told me or he said to me. The amount of times people make the same mistake, it's criminal. So make a note when you make the mistake, and this will help you remember not to make it in the future. By the way, this is a cup of tea, or as we say in British English, it's a cuppa. Number 8 is to mix formal and informal English. So don't just focus on academic English, business English, or solely informal English. Variety is the spice of life, and we need to be consuming a range of content to be aware of the differences between informal and formal English. You can watch interviews or sitcoms to improve your informal English, while you can listen to the news or listen to business English podcasts to improve your formal English. And if you want to speak a little bit like the Queen, in that case you can watch series such as The Crown or Downton Abbey, even though nobody actually speaks like this nowadays. Ooh, jolly good day, sir. Practice a little bit of everything. That way you can handle a job interview in English while also being able to have a nice informal chit-chat at the pub. Cheers! Number 9 is to be consistent, not perfect. I believe I said earlier that practice makes perfect. Well, this, of course, is not true. It's just a common phrase. But something that is true is that practice makes progress. So 15-20 minutes every single day is much better than 3 hours one day a week. Because with language learning, a common principle that we need to keep in mind and to put into practice is little and often. So you should try to consume a little bit of content in English and speak a little bit every single day, and not leave it all to one day, a Sunday, when you immerse yourself in English all day. It's much better to practice every day, even if you don't have that much time. 15-20 minutes, it's not ideal, but it's much better than nothing. In this case, it all comes down to building a routine and starting new habits. If you think to yourself that every time you wake up and you have a shower, then you read an article in English. Just before you go to bed, you watch a short YouTube video in English. When you're driving to work or walking there, listen to a podcast. So try to associate certain daily habits and routines with improving your English. And then it will become second nature. It will become natural to you. At least that's the theory. Number 10 is to stay motivated with clear goals. So what is your goal? What is your aim? What is your objective for improving your English? Why do you want to go from B1 to C1? Let me know in the comments. Your goal could be to get a job in English, to move abroad, to speak to your in-laws who are native English speakers, to understand everything in your business English meetings, or make English friends when you go down to a sports bar or a pub. It doesn't matter what your goal is, but you need to have a clear goal. Then to stay motivated, you need to track your progress. Celebrate these little wins and milestones along the way. Reward yourself for studying hard and sticking to the routine. And surround yourself with like-minded people who are also learning, evolving, developing, and growing while improving their English. I believe you are who you hang out with. So if you spend time with lots of ambitious people who want to improve their English, this will rub off on you and you will become ambitious and, in turn, improve your English. So that is my guide on how to go from B1 level to C1 level with these 10 practical steps and tips. Which ones do you currently put into practice? As I said, if you'd like to have classes with me, you can send me an email. It will be in the video description, and I appreciate you getting to the end of the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you later. Bye bye!